and welcome. I'm Jennifer Pierce, and this is Innovator's Journey. We're fortunate to feature the most cutting edge entrepreneurs, creatives, and leaders on this show. Today, we're joined by Reverend Dr. Lacette Cross. She is the founder of Liberation Lounge and is currently the executive director of Diversity Richmond. Cross graduated with a Doctor of Ministry in Practical Theology from Virginia Union University in 2021. Lacette, welcome to Innovator's Journey.
Thank you so much for having me today, Jennifer. I look forward to our conversation.
Oh, me too. I can't wait to learn more about your work. So let's dive right into some questions.
Absolutely.
How does shame impact self-worth, relationships, and leadership?
The key part about shame is shame makes us feel bad about who we are versus guilt makes us feel bad about what we do. And in my work with the Liberation Lounge, I help people connect sex, faith, and leadership so that they might live a healed, whole, and free life. And when we live at that intersection, we find that we are valuable and worthy exactly as we are. And as soon as we are good with who we are, then who we connect with, our relationships really become shame free. They become authentic, they become loving, they become mutual and affirming. Because until leaders can be shame free, our communities and the areas in which we lead will still be impacted by all of the issues that we're dealing with. So I think shame has a way of disrupting who we can really and fully be in our authentic selves.
Wow, interesting. So, how does this inform your work or how does this show up in what you do? You coach or counsel?
Yes. I think as a leader, we all have opportunities to coach and to mentor people. In my work specifically, I basically use coaching and community gatherings and teaching as a way to equip people with the tools that help them to connect sex, faith, and leadership. The Liberation Lounge, for example, is a place for people to come and we connect, reflect, and vibe. That's just nice words to say. We come, we eat a little food, Jennifer. We ask really reflective questions and we share with one another. Because I believe healing happens in community.
Hmm.
And when we began to heal our shame about who we are in our sexuality and about what we truly believe about God and faith and religion, then we can be honest about who we are. And when we are this whole and free and healed person, then we are able to actually be the best versions of ourselves.
Interesting. So, help me understand the thread between relationships, faith, and leadership.
Oh my goodness. I love this question because the primary thread between all three of those is ourself. Our primary relationship is with ourself first. And when we connect with ourselves, when we face some of our trauma, when we're able to heal parts of ourselves that has gone through really hard things and accept fully who we are in our sexuality, then that relationship with ourselves becomes the anchor to how we relate to others. And others, I mean, by our family, by our friends, by our coworkers, and even by our romantic connections, right? And there is this way that faith, whether you are what I call either in church or church adjacent, that shapes us and shapes how we should act and behave and live. But also, faith has a very liberating power to actually say, I want to live from a place of authenticity. As leaders, we have the ability to literally shape the future of our lives and the lives of the people around us and in the communities we serve. Because when we are, as leaders, clear about what it means to live authentically from that place of sexuality and spirituality, then we can begin to collaborate and work arm in arm with other people to address big issues, whether it's dealing with injustice, dealing with people who are unhoused, addressing food scarcity, figuring out how to ensure that LGBTQ people feel welcome and safe and included in all arenas of life. It doesn't matter where you lead or who you lead, but that your voice, your leadership, your impact helps to change the communities that you're a part of. And
Mm.
so, this thread of who we are, being able to accept ourselves authentically, is that thread that allows us to navigate relationships, to be centered in our faith, and to lead boldly in our communities.
Oh, so interesting. Why did you choose to focus on relationships as they relate to shame?
Because shame doesn't happen in a silo or a box. Shame indirectly comes from the first source is usually our families. Is the time when uh, our families tell us to not do something and we ask questions and then they say, well, this is how we've always done it. Or they tell us, don't ask that question, right? I think that the core of relationships is also where we heal. And if we want to change the world, we have to begin to change ourselves, right? And I'm not the first person to say that. Grace Lee Boggs says it. If we are to transform the world, we must first transform ourselves. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And change doesn't happen alone, it happens in relationship to others. And when we are free from shame, we actually liberate ourselves and others to live exactly as we were created to live. No matter what your gift is, no matter what talent you bring, no matter how you uniquely see the world, if we live under the weight and burden of shame, we dim our light. And so, my focus on relationships, first with yourself and then with others, helps us to realize that we are not in a silo and that in order for us to live as our most powerful and authentic self, we have got to put away the shame, especially around our sexuality and our spirituality.
Wow, such impactful work on every level.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's the value of specializing in this work?
Well, one, it is an intersection of a topic that is not often brought together consistently. When you think about the world and you think about the marketplace, people do a great job specializing in leadership, right? We have people who are writing books, who are doing conferences, who are doing seminars, who are leadership coaches, and that's amazing and we need that. We also have people who maybe address religious trauma or religious understandings and how to be accepting, and there is a space for that. And then you always consistently have people who are talking about sexuality broadly speaking, whether it's from LGBTQ inclusion or it is about our sexual health and how do we then be in relationships with people. We often hear a lot of podcasts that are about dating and how to get married and all of those types of things. But the value of my work is in the intersection, because when you bring together sexuality, spirituality, and leadership, you bring together the full embodiment of who we are as human beings in the world.
Hmm.
And there is no greater value than being able to appreciate and celebrate who you are as both someone that is a sexual being and it lives from a place of sexuality that honors some sort of spirituality, and then translates that and transform it into how you lead in your community.
Absolutely. Well, Reverend Dr. Lacette Cross, I am very moved and I
Yes.
appreciate your time today so much.
Thank you so much for having me and for engaging in the conversation.
How can our listeners learn more about your work or perhaps get in touch with you?
Absolutely. They can follow me on Instagram at REVDRL. That's Rev Dr. L. They can also check out my website, reverenddral.com.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Jennifer Pierce signing off for today. Thank you for watching Innovator's Journey.